Hi, everybody. Welcome to English Digest. I'm Tom.
Hi, I'm Stephanie.
It's our News Watch program today, and we're going to be talking about a famous ocean current here in Asia. I think it actually flows near Taiwan here, and they're trying to harness the power of that current to generate electricity. That's one story. And the other story we're going to talk about is a chef in Singapore has actually rejected his Michelin stars so that he can move on to do something else.
Yeah, I was telling Tom before we started that I thought he did that for publicity. Why would anyone give back their Michelin stars? That's crazy. So let's do what we always do, guys. We're going to divide up the news stories, read through them both first, and then go back and talk about some of these terms.
Harnessing the power of the Kuroshio Current. The Kuroshio Current flows through the northwest Pacific Ocean, moving masses of seawater in a clockwise direction past Taiwan and Japan. Researchers in Japan have been exploring the possibility of using the current to generate electricity for years. In 2017, several Japanese companies combined their efforts to run a full-scale test of this idea. The generator that the companies built consists of 3 immense metal cylinders. At one end of 2 of the cylinders are huge vanes that rotate around and around, thus generating electricity. The third in the center keeps it stable and at the right height, making it better able to make use of the current. The test proved that the generator works and allowed the researchers to gather plenty of useful data. The group hopes the generator will go into commercial use by 2020. Taiwan has been conducting its own trials on similar generators off the coast of Pingdong County, producing positive results in 2016. Both countries hope to use the Kuroshio current as part of an overall plan to focus on renewable electricity sources in the future.
Michelin chef Andre's new beginning. Taiwan-born chef Andre Jiang shocked the culinary world when he announced he was returning his Michelin stars and closing his Singapore business, Restaurant Andre. The establishment had won 2 Michelin stars and was named Singapore's best restaurant in 2017. However, Jiang not only closed up shop, but also requested that Raw, his Taipei restaurant, not be considered by Michelin. The expert chef wants to refocus his professional and private life, teaching future generations of local chefs and exploring both his own roots and Taiwanese produce. Jiang learned to cook from his mother before traveling to France to further his education. There, he worked his way up to head chef at Le Jardin des Serres, which has 3 Michelin stars. This is the highest award in the culinary world and indicates a restaurant people should go out of their way to visit. These stars no longer have the same importance for Jiang, who says that in Singapore, he attained everything he wanted to do. Jiang summed up his successful career by saying, "I am a perfectionist, and this is perfect."
The time has come for us to explain the contents of today's lesson, so if you want to know what you just heard and want to understand it, then listen to us carefully. We're going to tell you all about it. First of all, we're going to talk about the Kuroshio current and how they're going to use it to generate electricity. In the title here it says, Harnessing the Power of the Kuroshio Current. To harness here as a verb just means you use something, you take advantage of something, especially if it's something natural. Harness the power of the wind, for example, if you have wind turbines or something like that. In this particular case, we're using or harnessing the power of the Kuroshio current.
Yeah, that harness also has the idea that you're able to control it in some way. That's why we use harnesses on horses. If you've ever ridden a horse, you've got those reins, those two strips of leather in your hands. They're connected to the harness. So they're trying to really control the power of that current and turn it into electricity, which is nice. So this is a current that is found in the Pacific Ocean. Now, researchers in Japan have been exploring the possibility of using the current, that, bit of water that goes in a direction to generate electricity for years. To generate simply means to produce. So you can use those two words interchangeably when you're talking about creating or coming up with or generating something like electricity. Electricity is what we all need these days. Without electricity, our life would be so different. So electricity is that electric power that we use to run our lives. I would die without electricity in Taiwan because I need my air conditioner.
We've got to have our air conditioner. We need heating in the winter. And, of course, we need electricity to power our smartphones.
Oh, yeah.
That we use 24 hours a day, even when we're asleep. So, again, this is the Kuroshio current. A current, of course, is when water flows in the ocean or a lake or a river or whatever. You got to be careful not to get caught in a current if you're not a good swimmer.
It's swift or fast-moving water, you could say.
Absolutely. And this is called the Kuroshio current. In Japanese or in English, when we pronounce Japanese words, we tend to pronounce every syllable, kuroshio. But if the Japanese are speaking, they probably kind of scrunch all this together and say kuroshio or something like that. Heichao in Mandarin. But again, it moves masses of seawater in a clockwise direction, in the same direction as a clock, past Taiwan. And of course, they want to use it to they want to use it to generate electricity. They've been thinking about doing this for years. Here, for years doesn't mean they want to generate the electricity for years, although I'm sure that's what they want to do. But here in the sentence, for years, is referring to them exploring that possibility. They've been doing research. They've been talking about it for many years. Yeah, how can we use that current to produce or generate electricity? Now, just last year in 2017, several Japanese companies combined their efforts to run a full-scale test of this idea. So we've got lots of Japanese companies working together. They combined their efforts. They worked together and they had a full-scale test. Not just a little model or something, or not just something theoretical on paper or in the laboratory, but a full-scale test out there in the ocean.
Yeah, we'll often also use things like small scale, right? Or like Tom said, they'll just build a model of something. But this is full scale, so they could actually see with their own eyes what was going to happen. So next paragraph starts with, the generator that the companies built consists of 3 immense metal cylinders. So if something consists of something, that's what it's made of. Those are the parts that it's composed of. Could use that too. Immense means really, really big. And a cylinder is a circular shape. So that's what it looks like. You probably would do better just by looking at a picture of this. Yeah. It's hard to describe sometimes. The 2 cylinders with huge vanes rotate around and around, thus generating electricity. It's funny because I just said rotated round and round. The British actually tend to use round and round. Americans say around and around. Just a little difference in the way we talk there. But if something rotates, guys, it goes around and around. Things that rotate, a globe. If you have a globe in your classroom, that rotates. It goes around in a circle.
Spins on its axis. Yeah. Exactly. So they've got these veins in the water. I saw pictures. I'm not sure they are the exact same picture, but they looked kind of like wind turbines, except they're underwater. Okay. So the blades, like of a fan, of an electric fan, would be the veins there, and they're spinning as the water moves through them, and then they generate electricity.
The only time I've seen this word vein used in the past is when we talk about weather vanes. Have you ever seen those? They look like roosters. They're made in the shape of a rooster. They're on the top of roofs of homes.
Sure. My grandmother had one on top of her garage.
Oh, see? And they have arrows, and when the wind blows, the arrows will point in the direction that the wind is going. That's a weather vane.
I always thought her weather vane was inaccurate, but later I learned that her house is kind of at a 45-degree angle to north and south, so that's why it always looked like it was wrong when I was a kid. But in any case here, they want to generate electricity, and of course they combine their efforts, and they've got these big cylinders. Think of a can of Coke, that's a cylinder, and the vanes or the blades can rotate or spin around and thus generate electricity.
Cool.
Now, the third cylinder in the center keeps it stable and at the right height, making it better able to make use of the current. Here's the height underwater, so I guess thinking about how deep underwater it is. I guess at a certain depth, you'll have the current in its strongest force. If you're too high or too low, then you won't get the most force from the current.
Yeah, so the test proved that the generator works and allowed the researchers to gather plenty of useful data. When anyone does an experiment, scientists like to keep records of what they discovered, what they found, what they observed, and those records are called data. Data is plural, guys. If it's singular, it's datum. Although you'll hardly ever see that. But if you're writing and using the word data, it's data are, not data is. It's plural. So the group hopes the generator will go into commercial use by 2020. That's pretty soon. If something goes into commercial use or if something's available commercially, it means anyone can buy it. So it's on the market, it's in the market, it's being sold for money. It's not something that people made privately or is something that is just being used away from the public. This you can buy and use it yourself, but you need some money.
You certainly do, and Taiwan has been conducting its own trials on similar generators off the coast of Pingdong County, producing positive results in 2016. Here we've got the word to conduct. That just means to undertake, to carry something out, to do something. So, of course, Taiwan has had some trials, some experiments off the coast of Pingdong County, and they actually got some good results a couple of years ago. Now, both countries hope to use the Kuroshio current as part of an overall plan to focus on renewable electricity sources in the future. So they're going to refocus here, just to focus on renewable electricity. Renewable means you can use it again, like wind power, solar power, whereas fossil fuels are not renewable. Once you burn them, they're gone. So yes, they're trying to focus on these renewable electricity sources so we can have plenty of electricity in the future for our air conditioners.
That's really important, especially for me. Right now, guys, we're going to take a quick break, listen to our Chinese teacher, and then we'll be back to talk about Andre the chef.
Hi everyone, my name is Jenny. 今天我们看的是第3单元。好，我们要来看新闻。今天的新闻呢，其实第一篇谈的跟能源有关，我们要用黑潮来发电，来有再生能源。我们先看这篇提到黑潮呢，它其实是经过西北太平洋，而它呢流过台湾到日本，这个方向是用顺时钟的方向。我们就先看这个字clockwise 顺时钟，那如果是逆时针呢？我们会在前面加一个 counter counter counterclockwise， 那就是逆时针方向。好，那提到它水流的方向，那基本上研究员们他们就在想，利用这种洋流来发电其实是可行的。好，那这边提到这样的研究已经进行了好几年。注意到时态 have been exploring the possibility， 这个是完成在家进行，一直在不断的做这样的可能性的运用的研究，所以注意到 ben 这个后面还有一个 ving。 好，整个时态是完成进行式。接下来呢，他就说了，现在他们做了一个全面的测试，这里用到一个字 full scale。 我们知道 scale 代表的是规模，所以你在前面加一个 full， 那是很完整而全面的。再来，下面就说到他们的测试是怎么样做的呢？当然，这里的描述比较复杂。他说到有3个巨大的金属圆柱体，注意到这个字是 cylinder。好，那提到这个圆柱体，我们说它是怎么一回事呢？它其实总共有3个，这边用到一个片语consists of， 那就是由什么组合而成的，它基本上是一个主动语态，你不能写成 consist in， 那就变成在于，而 consist of 我们更常用的片语 be composed of 变成了被动的语态。好，有时候呢，这不同片语之间的转换要特别的留意。接下来有一个地方，他又在讲这3个圆柱体呢，其中有2个圆柱体，它的其中一边是有巨大的叶片。好，我们看一下这句话的结构，它也是比较特别的，因为这句话 at one end of 2 of the cylinders， 这个并不是主词，我们看到 are 这是动词，而主词不会是一个介系词片语，真正的主词是在 be 动词 are 的后面，也就是从 huge veins that blah blah blah。 好，换句话说，那个巨大的叶片，这才是它的主词。那这样的句构当然是有倒装的意思。好，那提到了台湾，其实也有哦，我们在2016年也进行过测试。他提到他的位置是在屏东县的近海，屏东县的近海或是外海，在英文里面用到了 off the coast of 屏东 County， 所以注意到这个片语看似简单，但是有时候要用中文再翻成英文的时候，却不知道该怎么说。
We're going to take a quick break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
It's time for us to move on to our second news story. We're going to Singapore, and we've got a Michelin chef, Andre's new beginning. Chef Andre Jiang, Taiwan-born chef Andre Jiang, shocked the culinary world when he announced he was returning his Michelin stars and closing his Singapore business, Restaurant Andre. So he shocked the culinary world. He really surprised them. Culinary means having to do with food or fine dining and cooking and things like that. And everybody was shocked when he said, hey, I'm going to return my Michelin stars. I don't want them, and I'm actually going to close my restaurant in Singapore, Restaurant Andre. Everyone was surprised. Why would you want to do that? You can run that restaurant for years and make a ton of money.
Yeah, I wanted to mention culinary is never used with something like snack foods, street foods, fast foods. It has to be really nice, expensive food that is considered to be good enough for gourmet foodies to eat. If you're a foodie, you're someone who loves to eat gourmet food, not fast food. The food you like is quite expensive and is typically found in restaurants that have 1 Michelin star, 2 Michelin stars, or 3 Michelin stars is the top. They're very, very hard to get. I got into these cooking shows when I moved to Taiwan. Something called Top Chef got me started, and then I tuned into other shows. There was a show called Hell's Kitchen with a chef from England named Gordon Ramsay. He's got a big personality. So I got into this. So it's interesting to me that he gave his stars back because no one does that. In fact, they all want as many stars as they can get. But as I said earlier, I think he did it for publicity, which worked. He's getting a lot of publicity. We're talking about him. So he did close his Singapore restaurant named Andre. A lot of these very famous chefs will open restaurants, and typically at least one of those restaurants will have their name on it because that's kind of a big deal.
Indeed. And the establishment, or this business, this restaurant, had won 2 Michelin stars and was named Singapore's best restaurant in 2017. So here, I guess it's quite prestigious to win 2 Michelin stars. He worked at a restaurant in Paris that had 3 stars, but this one had 2, which is still pretty good. And he won those 2 Michelin stars, and it was named the best restaurant in Singapore just last year.
Yeah.
So here, had won is the past perfect. To win, I won, I have won, and I had won. Of course, we use past perfect when we talk about 2 actions that occurred in the past, one further in the past. So it had won 2 Michelin stars before he announced he was returning those stars. So that was the first thing in the past, and then had won even goes further in the past.
Yeah, if you use that expression to close up shop is a present tense. It just means you shut it down. You don't necessarily go bankrupt where you've, lost a lot of money and you're in the red, as we call it, if you owe money. But you have closed your business, so closed up shop. But he also requested that RAW, R-A-W, all capital letters there. RAW, his restaurant here in Taipei, not be considered by Michelin. Michelin is the group, the organization that actually hands out these stars. And he says, thanks, but no thanks. You don't need to come to my restaurant, RAW. I don't really care if you like it. I don't care if you give me stars. So that was kind of a big deal, too, because everyone, of course, craves stars by Michelin. The expert chef said he wanted to refocus his professional and private life. Your professional life, of course, is what you're doing to earn a living. That's your career, your income. What are you doing professionally? His private life, I would assume he would just be quiet about that. Most people want to keep their private lives private and not share, although some celebrities like attention and don't mind that their private life is in newspapers and things like that. He wants to teach future generations of local chefs, and that's good. And he also wants to explore his own roots and Taiwan's produce. Produce here is a noun, guys. It is not a verb, and they're pronounced differently. So the verb is to produce, right? Produce. But the noun, produce, refers to fresh fruits and vegetables.
Right, so he wants to change his focus and, get more local here and teach future generations of local chefs about Taiwan's own cooking and things like that.
Cool.
Although I'm sure, as you mentioned before, his refusing those stars probably gave him a lot more publicity than he would have received if he simply got those stars. So this guy, he's not just doing this for that reason.
He knows
he's going to get more money that way. Don't let this guy fool you. But Zhang learned to cook from his mother before traveling to France to further his education. So this kind of talks about his beginnings in cooking. He learned, of course, from his mother. She cooked food for him when he was a kid, and he went, "Hey, Mom, how do you cook that? It's really tasty. I want to do that myself." So she taught him all she knew, and then he went to France. "Well, thanks, Mom, but I need to move on and go to France there and learn how to cook crepe Suzette and vichyssoise and things like that, boeuf bourguignon." And so he went there to further his education. Further just means to continue your education, to learn more.
So he worked his way up. If someone works their way up, it means they start a job or they start their career at a very low level. Maybe they start working in the mailroom and then they're promoted again and again. And eventually you reach that top position. If you're a chef, it would be head chef. That is a big position. If you're working in a business, if you become the CEO, that's the top position. So you can work your way up in this business as well as a chef. You start out as a line cook, then you're the sous chef, sous meaning under, you're under the head chef, and then you're the head chef, which is amazing for some of these people. So he worked at this restaurant, the Jardin des Saints, and he was working there when they got 3 stars, which is a big deal. That is the highest award in the culinary world. It also indicates to people who are like the gourmet foodies I talked about earlier, that they need to get over there as fast as they can because it's delicious. Those Michelin stars are not just for quality of food, though. It's also for service, for how the restaurant looks. So when a restaurant gets a star, everyone who works there feels they earned it. And it's a great feeling. So these stars no longer have the same importance for our chef, Jiang Zhencheng is his Chinese name, who says that in Singapore, he attained everything he wanted to. If you attain something, guys, you work hard and you earn some sort of achievement. You don't attain something by just sitting around, being a couch potato and surfing the internet. You have to succeed by working hard and you achieve something. So he attained everything he wanted to in Singapore. At least that's how he felt.
Yep, he got as high as he could. He attained everything he wanted to do. And Zhang summed up his successful career by saying, I am a perfectionist and this is perfect. So here, if you sum up something, that means you just kind of give us a summary. You kind of give us a brief explanation of everything that you just said. You tell us things in a nutshell, basically. He said, well, this kind of summarizes my career. I am a perfectionist and this is perfect.
So he sounds like he was happy with what he was able to do and is now moving on to a different stage of his life. So right now, guys, as we always do, we're going to listen to our Chinese teacher one more time, and then we'll wrap this baby up.
好，我们继续来看第二则新闻。这是最近我们听过的一个震撼美食界的新闻，谈到竟然有一位米其林的厨师退还了这个米其林的星星，他不要了，而且呢，甚至于说以后也不要把他的餐厅考虑在内。这个人就是江振成。好，我们知道他是出生于台湾，好，所以说一个人出生于台湾是 Taiwan born， 他决定要把这个星星退回去，可是他的这个星星其实真的不容易，因为他有米其林2颗星的餐厅，而且在2017年他还是被称为是新加坡最好的餐厅呢。那我们来看他这次的举动呢，不但是把餐厅关掉，而且他还说从此之后请米其林不要再考虑他在台北开的这家 Raw 这家餐厅。我们看到这个结构有 not only but also， 不光是 A 而且是 B， 而 but also 后面所接的他要求 request，它事实上是一个所谓的命令动词，而命令动词到底怎么用？它后面接一个 that 子句，这个子句里面的意思就表示说希望或命令某一个动作要怎么做，而后面这边想的就是说这个台北的餐厅不要被考虑，看到了吗？ Not be considered， 这个其实是有一个 should 被省略， should be considered， should not be considered， 所以基本上就是不要，他不希望被列入考虑当中，命令语气。好，然后呢，当然我们知道江振成这个举动震撼了美食界，这边后面也提到之前的发展，他如何成为今天美食界的主厨明星，最后他提到自己说他是一个完美主义者。我们看到完美主义者这里有一个 perfectionist IST， 这个结尾就是指人，当然什么什么者在英文里有很多字尾， IST 是常用的一个。我们今天的解说就到这边结束，我们下次见。
That's all for today, everybody. Thank you for joining us, and make sure you join us again next time for another edition of our program. Hopefully, all of your news will be good news. Thanks for listening. I'm Tom.
I'm Stephanie.
Goodbye.
Bye.